Singh is a 35-year-old creative entrepreneur from Cape Town. To our surprise, we discovered this creativity includes being a medical doctor and owner of a vegan plant protein supplement business.
So I'm now here at Ceramic Matters and I'm getting ready to meet the creative team. Very excited and very nervous. Okay, let's try and set ourselves a challenge and do a woven porcelain piece that looked very similar to a weaver bird's nest hanging from a tree that could be either displayed by itself or in a cluster. I'm very much into the whole organic, natural aspect of life, and so I like to bring that into all spheres of life, including my artwork.
Established in 1997, Ceramic Matters' latest work concerns representation of traditions, personal interest, history and present environment in the fascinating studio of the Ceramic Matters duo Gerard Swart and Anthony Harris.
Yes, that would be awesome.
I think the whole Nando's concept is very important to support young people, to actually help them further their careers. So I hope we can work together and sort of make the most out of it. I certainly wouldn't have gotten involved with it if I didn't want to win this thing.
And so I wanted to translate this into something a little bit more refined and make it into a light rather than a vessel. And so I thought I could do a shape like that. That's almost like a basket with a big bulbous bottom and a narrow neck. I'm making a silicone mold out of that to try and create some sort of structure to build onto.
Okay, but silicone is not going to work that well. I would suggest rather plaster of Paris.
Okay, that's a very important.
So,
but the thing about plaster of Paris is that it won't allow for weaving and then withdrawal of the mold. I was hoping to just do one firing, like make the piece on the mold, remove it, and then pop it straight into, once it's dry, pop it straight into.
You can certainly try that, but I know from experience that it's so difficult to work with such thin clay.
Okay.
It's a very exciting and quite a challenging design that he's got also. We're going to have to really sit down and think about it. I have looked and discussed it with him to a certain extent, so we'll see how we're going to go from here now.
Sam Verdun, a 23-year-old interior designer from Durban, updated us on her progress while on a visit to Joburg.
I'm at the Nando Central Kitchen and I'm here because I'm a finalist in the lighting design competition. My design is the beaded ring with a beautiful bulb in the center and a copper disc. When I designed it, I knew I definitely wanted to do beads coming from Durban. And then I knew I wanted to do a ring. I'm quite inspired by minimalist ring designs at the moment.
Sam's mentors are Greg and Roche Dry of Egg Design. Also from Durban, they've recently opened a new showroom in Joburg's Parktown North, and this is where Greg and Sam caught up.
I think without being stereotypical on the question, is to hope to impart some future wisdom, some early learnings in the industry.
Egg offers a bespoke and straightforward approach to customized design, focusing on unique and highly individual interiors, furniture and lighting.
Working it through until you get an end result that you actually have dreamt about, envisaged, and then you get the final product and it's a wow, okay, cool, I've built this thing. I hope that that's what we can achieve.
Greg and Roche are amazing designers from Egg Design. Their furniture pieces and their spaces they design are amazing, so I was very, very excited. We just went through my design and they thankfully really liked it, but gave me some great technical advice.
It was already a strong concept, so there wasn't much handiwork that was needed to be done from our side to mentor into a specific aesthetic change or whatever. It was very solid, it was very simple, it was clean. She was quite headfast and strong about the fact that she was going in a certain direction. So we helped with technicalities a lot through the process and then ironed out any problems that would have surfaced along the line, you know, some considerations of practicality.
The next steps are to make the prototypes. So I've chosen my ring sizes and we're going to get the tubes made up, and then it's off to some local designers to actually make the beaded parts of it. and then get my bulbs and just put it all together.
The competition for SAM will mean that it's an early entry into a rather strange and difficult world of design. And when I say difficult, it's just that it's not easy. You don't just go out there and get bought and then your product is manufactured and it's sold. As a third world country or developing country, we're not dissimilar to Brazil, Argentina, Chile. We are the designer, the maker, the accountant, the marketing. We're everything. So this competition will open up Sam's ability a lot quicker if the product comes to the Nando's market, because that at least is a market within the bigger restaurant groups. It gives it immediate exposure locally, internationally.
My gosh, I would be over the moon. Like, I'd be so happy. I really would.
From Brooklyn, Cape Town hails this year's youngest finalist.
I'm excited and anxious.
At 17 years of age, Tasha Boysen is still at school completing grade 11.
Well, my design is called the Can Bean. I used actually all the paint that I have. I love colours, and since it's South Africa, I love South Africa because I'm South African, so yeah, that's basically what my design is.
Untainted by decor and design magazines or any external inspiration, Tasha's Can Bean pendant light design is unaffected and undoubtedly joyous.
Wow, look how gorgeous your sketches.
Thank you.
Because I obviously saw it in the form of an image.
Yeah.
So you've actually made a collage. That's gorgeous.
Tasha will be mentored by Tracy Lynch, Nando's head of design.
Well, when Tasha's sketch came up, I was intrigued because it was unlike any of the other designs. There was something really fresh about the simple way she presented it. And I think when I read a little bit about her and I realized how young she was, I was even more intrigued. So I'm very excited that she's one of our finalists.
Ultimately, it was just having fun and putting everything together.
So this is going to be quite interesting to turn into something real.
Yes.
I mean, what do you think about that?
I'm not sure because I made a fixture at school just with four cans, and I shocked myself, so I'm worried about 12.
Okay, so we'll have to make sure we get all the electrics right.
Yeah.
But I think what's going to be fun is for us to work on this concept. I think it's got lots of potential to be something really intriguing. And then perhaps we can leave the practical side of the electrifying to somebody who knows what they're doing, because that's definitely not me.
Talking about my design was different. I've never been asked so many questions about a design.
What's also exciting about Tasha is apparently she's not very familiar with South African design or with lifestyle magazines. So she's really found the competition and read the brief and thought about it really carefully and come up with something completely original. And I think that's what struck me about her proposal, that it felt like an original design.
Meeting Tracy was so cool. I thought she'd be intimidating, but she's a lovely person and she's accomplished, so that inspires me to work really hard.
I'd like to try and understand her process and how she arrived at the design. So what I truly hope is that she can really find perhaps a career in design and a way of working that means she will continue to stand apart.
Winning Nando's would be so awesome because my English comprehension was actually about Nando's and the art and the food part, and then I learned so much more about it, that it's in, I think it has 1,000 restaurants in over 30 countries. So that was really cool, and I just got a lot more excited and inspired to work a lot more harder on the design.
Lara Cooper is a 35-year-old newly graduated interior designer from Cape Town.
Yeah, I'm a top finalist for this Nando's Young Designer Talent Search, so I'm very excited about it, and I'm at Ashanti and I'm about to meet with Rob Walker.
Mbali is Zulu for beautiful flower, and the name for Lara's heart-opening pendant light design.
So we have a second world war mentality of waste not, want not.
Aiming to conserve African heritage by encouraging the use of traditional techniques, Ashanti's artisans preserve the skills of their forebears. They use a vast fabric range to make up cushions, bean bags, carpets and lampshades to client request. Joining forces by connecting customer and culture, Ashanti extends market facilities and support to rural artisans, promoting authentically inspired, sustainably sourced materials.
I have got some thread samples.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've actually seen the design on paper, but I do have it on my laptop.
I
just
did,
to show.
but you can refresh me and
Okay.
let's just have a quick squiz.
This was my design that I sent to Nando's,
Yes.
and it's called the Mabali Pendant Light,
Yeah.
inspired from the Zulu culture, and they're
Yeah.
obviously renowned for using these bright colours and geometric patterns. I thought it would work well with my design, and it also, Mabali means flower, so I just thought that would kind of symbolise this beautiful flower once all the colours and stuff are on it,
Yes.
opening up and symbolising purity and enlightenment once the light is switched on.
Lara, what I'd like to do is I want to introduce you to Monique.
Okay.
Monique is my right and left hand. She is got all the design capabilities. I just have a good eye.
You know, there's a lot of stuff that that's been considered and new ideas that have come about, which we're going to look into and probably implement in this design.
And her idea is a wonderful idea. It's easy to play and it's easy to make things, but you need to take into consideration, obviously, the design, the labor cost, the materials that you take into how much it's going to cost to actually make that, and as well as your packaging and your freight.
Design deadline is the 25th of January, and I do
Lovely.
realise that we're now going into
Lovely.
the busiest time of the year. A little bit stressed, also since Christmas is coming up and there's not a lot of time. We've probably got about 2-3 weeks at the most, so it's going to be a lot of hard work, but I mean, it's got to be done, and I work well under pressure, so hopefully we can get it done as quick as possible.
Time is of the essence. In the next episode, Tabisa meets her second set of mentors and we get into the creative nitty-gritty of our finalists' prototype production process.